People across California are talking about something they once thought was a joke: a tax on leaving the state. As more families, business owners, and retirees pack up their lives and move away, political pressure is building around how to slow that movement. Many residents already feel trapped by housing costs, income taxes, and endless fees that turn everyday living into a constant math problem. They stick it out as long as they can, hoping something changes. But every year, more moving trucks fill up and disappear across state borders. That trend has finally reached a point where lawmakers are paying attention in a way that makes taxpayers nervous. The idea being discussed is clear: if too many people leave, California may not have enough revenue to cover everything the state funds. That possibility opens a door that millions hope never gets pushed open. The fear is simple and frightening: what if leaving California becomes expensive too? California's financial outlook creates a backdrop that worries those tracking these proposals. Costs for healthcare programs, infrastructure projects, wildfire recovery, housing assistance, education promises, and pension payouts rise faster than revenue from taxpayers and businesses. When government spending climbs and the number of residents leaving outpaces arrivals, a serious imbalance forms. For years, lawmakers brushed off migration concerns as political talking points. That changed when state budget documents showed billions disappearing as taxpayers voted with their feet. Those numbers force conversations that make residents anxious. People are already dealing with rising bills in every corner of life. The thought of being taxed for the decision to leave feels like losing the last bit of control they have. The idea of an exit tax isn't new. It first appeared in political proposals tied to wealth taxation. Some lawmakers suggested that if a person spent their career creating success in California and building financial strength here, the state should receive a portion of that value even if that person decides to move away. That type of proposal sparked outrage. People asked how it could be legal to charge money based on a decision to relocate. Others pointed out that success often comes from personal effort, not government permission. Critics warned that such a tax would drive out even more high-income residents. But here is what unsettles the average homeowner or retiree. Once the state shows interest in taxing exits at any level, the door doesn't close easily. What begins as a tax aimed at millionaires could expand until it reaches people simply selling a home and moving to another state so they can afford to breathe again. Retirees become most vulnerable in that scenario. Many older Californians plan to leave once they could no longer afford the property taxes or healthcare costs here. They looked forward to states offering cheaper housing, calmer finances, and a chance to stretch their benefits longer. If California attaches a financial penalty to that decision, seniors lose an escape route they spent decades relying on. Their ability to protect savings and enjoy retirement gets weakened. People who worked all their lives, raised families, and contributed to the economy would face an extra hit late in life at a time when they can't rebuild financially. For a retiree, every year counts and every dollar counts. Being forced to factor a penalty into relocation plans creates stress that doesn't go away. Tax proposals often start with complex language and limited scope. At first glance, they may appear to target only certain income brackets or asset types. But once these ideas are written into law, boundaries rarely hold for long. California has repeatedly expanded tax categories that once seemed small or temporary. Homeowners feel that with wildfire-related charges. Drivers feel it with fuel and registration fees. Renters feel it through hidden surcharges inside monthly bills. The history of California tax policy suggests that if an exit tax ever gains traction, its reach could widen with time. The person planning to move to Arizona or Nevada to save their retirement could face a financial shock that delays their move or prevents it altogether. Behind these discussions lies a political narrative. Some lawmakers blame departing residents for shrinking revenue. They argue that those who leave still benefit from what California gave them. They use phrases that imply leaving is an act of taking more than giving. Such arguments create resentment between taxpayers and government decision-makers. People who leave aren't trying to harm California. They're trying to survive financially. They're looking for safety in older age. They're reacting to problems the state hasn't solved. Yet this shift in tone from leadership makes average citizens wonder if they are viewed more like resources than people. That perception drives even more distrust. The psychological effect of this debate sets off alarm bells long before any law is passed. Simply knowing that lawmakers are exploring ways to tax departure causes households to question their timing. Retirees considering a move in a few years may feel pressured to sell sooner. Families aware their children will eventually need more affordable living conditions might see California as a risky place to stay rooted. People nearing retirement age watch the headlines and wonder whether they are racing against a countdown clock they can't see. Instead of spending their final working years with peace of mind, they feel surrounded by uncertainty. They begin planning for worst-case outcomes because the risk of getting caught in a sudden change becomes too real. An exit tax would present serious logistical challenges too. What counts as leaving? How is wealth measured? What about people who split their time between California and another state? What happens when a resident changes primary residency but still owns California property? Complex taxation rules could trap people in costly legal battles over what qualifies as a taxable exit. Seniors who simply want to move closer to family might get caught up in a paperwork maze they never anticipated. Complicated enforcement systems would make leaving even more stressful and expensive. And bureaucratic confusion has a way of growing volumes of rules and fees that expand past the original idea. The housing market would feel the effects quickly. People who once considered selling their home and moving for financial relief might hesitate, afraid of triggering a tax. That hesitation keeps prices inflated because supply remains artificially restricted. Younger buyers lose opportunities for homeownership. Neighborhoods struggle to evolve normally. And when seniors feel stuck in houses larger than they need, maintenance burdens and personal health safety risks increase. A home that once symbolized comfort turns into a strained expense and a reminder that freedom has a price. Businesses feel the consequences as well. When employers see employees afraid to leave California for job opportunities elsewhere, workforce mobility shrinks. Companies that operate across state lines would need legal guidance just to manage employees' relocations. That expense encourages businesses to keep expansions outside California. The ripple effect grows over the years, quietly shifting economic power to states that welcome taxpayers instead of penalizing them. Business leaders eventually realize that a rule designed to maintain the tax base actually pushes entrepreneurs to consider relocation earlier. Another overlooked group would face pressure: caregivers and working-age family members. Many adult children leave California because they cannot afford life here, even if they grew up here. If a parent remains behind, distance strains families emotionally and financially. If exit taxes discourage seniors from moving closer to their kids, caregiving becomes harder as parents age. Hospital visits, mobility support, and emergency help depend on geographic closeness. Separating families during a vulnerable stage of life reduces care quality and increases emotional hardship that no dollar amount measures. People often describe California as a place of innovation and freedom, but the fear of being charged money to leave transforms that image into something else entirely. It tells residents that staying is no longer a choice but an obligation. It connects identity to a tax bill. That creates a chilling effect on community trust. When residents feel they are being held against their will through policy, resentment builds and belief in fair governance weakens. A bond between citizen and state gets replaced by suspicion. Looking beneath the policy talk reveals a much deeper issue. California is struggling to balance its promises with its reality. Every year, people watch infrastructure crumble, healthcare lines grow longer, and housing shortages escalate. They ask where all their tax money goes but rarely get answers that make sense. When trust erodes, loyalty erodes with it. Instead of feeling like valued participants in a community, taxpayers feel like holes in a wall trying to stop water flooding in. A tax on leaving transforms that worry into fear. The threat of such a tax forces people to confront their future faster than planned. Retirees begin comparing states with lower taxes, safer finances, and clearer laws. Couples browse real estate listings in areas where Social Security stretches further. Some move savings into accounts that align with relocation strategies. The group once considered most rooted in California becomes the group most likely to prepare for departure. Policy conversations designed to keep residents here actually accelerate the decision to go. Today, exit taxes remain mostly talk, but talk alone carries weight. Ideas in politics don't fully disappear. They wait for the right vote count. They appear again in a new form. They get repackaged with kinder language. They resurface at times when the public feels distracted. Many Californians have learned that no tax is ever truly dead. For seniors, that means the window to choose where they want to live is open now, but no one knows how long it will stay that way. Older adults deserve peace. They deserve control over their final decades. They deserve the freedom to choose a home that allows them to stay healthy and independent as they age. California once felt like that home. For many, it still holds precious memories and strong family history. But the financial environment is changing quickly. And the talk of taxing people simply because they leave signals a shift in values that worries anyone approaching retirement. People who spent a lifetime contributing to the economy should not face barriers when they decide the next chapter belongs somewhere more affordable. They should not be forced to remain in a place that drains savings faster than they can protect themselves. And they should not have to worry that the state they helped build will punish them for moving closer to children and grandchildren. California stands at a crossroads. One path continues down a road that treats taxpayers like a shrinking resource to secure through penalties, and the other path recognizes that loyalty grows from trust, not force. The more aggressive tax approaches become, the more residents lose faith in the direction of the state. And that loss of faith does more harm than any single policy ever could. Retirement represents freedom earned over decades of hard work. It should be celebrated with comfort, stability, and choice. When government threatens to take that choice away, people look over their shoulder and wonder whether they should act sooner rather than later. Right now, the safest approach many see is staying alert, planning ahead, and preparing for the possibility that leaving California could cost more tomorrow than it does today.